Hi guys, today we're talking about different ways that you can serve food to your 6-month-old. Hi guys, it's Renee with New Ways Nutrition, and today we're focusing on how you can cut food differently for your baby. So one of the things that I see a lot is people out there saying that this is the way that you have to cut the food to make it good for your 6-month-old if you're starting to serve table foods like baby-led weaning, baby self-feeding, whatever you want to call it. I would just like to give you guys a little bit of a demonstration from personal experience, professional experience, whatever you want to call it. There is not one way to serve food. Every baby is going to be different. Every baby is different developmentally. Every baby has different skills. Some babies have the pincer grasp before they even start eating. Some people take way longer to develop that, and that's going to determine what your baby enjoys a little bit. So the key that I would just love for you to take away is there is no right way. There's a safe way, and that's what's important. But there's lots of different ways within that safety limit to serve foods to your baby. So I have a couple examples here for you. The first one I have is a banana. So this is going to be your traditional way that they recommend you do it in baby-led weaning. And that's great. This doesn't always work. Some babies love this, some babies don't. This is safe. Another way that is completely safe, I cut it this way, right? So you can see it, it's cut in half lengthwise. This is also perfectly safe, and some babies like it more. Both of these are great options. There is no one right way with that. So know that you should be looking at what works for your baby and try different things. Don't assume that just because they won't eat it one way, they don't like a food. Try all sorts of different things. I've got another example here. We've got strawberries. So with the strawberries, I've cut them 3 different ways. One is literally just a strawberry. Now these are, granted, farm fresh summer strawberries, so they are actually really easy to squish, so they are safe for babies. If you're doing an off-season strawberry, or you're in a place that really doesn't get strawberries very locally, if you will, then you want to be really careful about the texture of them. If they're too hard, your baby won't be able to gum them. So make sure you're testing them, or if you give them to your baby the first time, just make sure you watch really closely at first so that they can gum them and they don't put the whole thing in their mouth without being able to squish it. Outside of that, that is safe. Here's another option that we have. So these right here are just basically like diced strawberries. Some babies like to just squish them in their hands and put them in their mouth. Some babies just like to pick them up one by one. These are small enough that if your baby does not chew them, they will not be a choking hazard. So they have to be pretty small. Think about the size of your baby's airwave. Their windpipe is small, so don't cut them, a quarter of a strawberry if they are not soft. These are perfectly safe the way this size is though. And my last example I have here for you, these are just cut into like quarters lengthwise. So this is kind of more your traditional finger width, if you will. A baby can hold it on the end and then nibble off the top. Also safe. Some babies love it, some babies don't. Experiment with your baby. Next example, we have some avocado toast and some avocado wedges. These are both perfectly safe. A lot of babies, when they're first starting to eat, like the ease of toast, and you can put all sorts of different things, including avocado, on it, and a lot of times the baby's just gonna suck what is on it off. This makes it a little bit easier than having to preload a spoon and get your baby to put the spoon in their mouth. So that's an option. And then the avocado wedges are easy for them just to hold in their hand. And then last, I have 3 different types of eggs here. So we have 2 examples of a hard-boiled, and then I have a scrambled egg over here. And these are by no means exhaustive of how you can serve eggs. These are just, I happen to choose these today. So we have little wedges here of a hard-boiled egg. Pretty easy for them to hold. If your baby has problems holding wedges, it could be a little bit slippery. You can always roll it in some breadcrumbs or almond meal or something like that, or just serve it a different way if you don't feel like going through all that trouble. This is a hard-boiled egg here that is just mushed up with a fork. A lot of times I'll serve that with some Greek yogurt so that it stays on a spoon and can be preloaded on a spoon, or your baby can just grab it with their hand. It's a little bit of like an egg salad, and you can put that on toast as well. And then lastly, I have here, this is one way to serve a scrambled egg. So this is your traditional scrambled egg. I didn't do anything special for the baby, but you can see here that it's in clumps, and I've left it in clumps so that the baby can just grab it with their palm and get it in their mouth. There's also some that are a little bit more of a finger width size, so they can also do that. You can also make the scrambled egg in a kind of omelet style, and I've got a video on my channel on how to do that if you're wanting some different ideas for eggs. So these are just a couple of ideas that I grabbed off the top of my head to show you that there are so many different safe ways that you can serve your baby. It doesn't have to be one way. It has to be what is safe and what your baby wants. So if you're not finding that you're having success one way, make sure you try it again. And even if it doesn't happen one way, try that same way again in a couple weeks. Just because they don't like avocado wedges one week doesn't mean they're not gonna like them next week when their skills are different. So the name of the game is all sorts of different experimentation, and just keep trying. When they're 6 months old, 7, 8, they really are just determining their preferences, so make sure you give them lots of chances to experiment. All right, I hope you learned something and have a good day.